After the Taliban completed its takeover of Afghanistan, the US and many other countries are pulling out their troops and other personnel from the country. But China, Russia, Turkey and Pakistan are maintaining their diplomatic presence and say they're working with stakeholders in the country to ensure a smooth transition. Afghanistan's neighbours could be poised to play a role in rebuilding its economy, and some countries may look to exploit Afghanistan's vast mineral wealth. Mobin Nasir reports.
A day after the Taliban seized control of Afghanistan's capital and declared an end to hostilities, shops are reopening in Kabul and many people are going back to work. In other parts of the country, girls wearing hijabs are back in school.
We want to progress like other countries and we hope the Taliban will maintain security, and we don't want war, we want peace in our country.
After decades of conflict, many Afghans are hoping that the country can move towards political and economic stability. But many are also afraid that the militant group may implement its strict interpretation of Islamic law. The Taliban claims it's committed to peace and ensuring human rights. But the Taliban's rapid advance shocked most governments, which responded by pulling out their troops, diplomatic staff and other citizens. The group has signaled it will not repeat the violence and discrimination against women seen during its last rule in the 1990s. Analysts say Western governments are waiting to see if that rhetoric will be followed by actions before they resume diplomatic ties. But China, Russia, Turkey and Pakistan are not pulling out. The Chinese government says it aims to play a role in rebuilding the debilitated economy.
We hope that the Afghan Taliban will unite with all parties and ethnic groups in Afghanistan to build a broad and inclusive political structure that suits Afghanistan's own national conditions and lay the foundation for the realization of lasting peace in Afghanistan. The Afghan Taliban have repeatedly expressed their hope to develop good relations with China and look forward to China's participation in the reconstruction and development of Afghanistan.
If Beijing succeeds in partnering with the new government in Afghanistan, it could gain access to the country's immense reserves of natural resources. In 2010, a study by US geologists valued Afghanistan's lithium reserves at more than $1 trillion. Lithium is a vital component in renewable energy batteries, and demand is expected to rise 4,000% by 2040. But tapping these reserves requires large investments, and Afghanistan could turn to China for funds, expertise and equipment. Border crossings with Pakistan have also reopened and trade is resuming.
Many vehicles had been stranded for the last 3-4 days. When the gate opened yesterday, a lot of them arrived here and trade boomed.
But many Afghans living abroad doubt an economic boom is imminent. Abdul Hakim, who has been living in Pakistan with his family for many years, says he has no intention to move back.
At the moment, the people in Afghanistan are thinking of coming to Pakistan. The economic conditions are bad over there. There is unemployment and businesses are failing. I'm not thinking of going there at all when the people in Afghanistan are thinking of coming here.
If that happens, Pakistan could face another influx of migrants, which the country can ill afford without international assistance. So while there may be benefits to establishing ties with Afghanistan's new government, they come with risks of instability that could spill beyond its borders. Mobin Nasir, TRT World.
Well, let's get more on this now with Ahmad Shah Katawazai in Kabul. He's a senior Afghan diplomat and a member of the Academy of Sciences of Afghanistan. Welcome to the program, Ahmad. Firstly, you've analysed Afghanistan's vast mineral wealth and estimated it to be worth up to $3 trillion. Can you tell us more about what sort of deposits Afghanistan has?
Thank you very much for having me. Regarding Afghanistan mineral resources, according to the USGS, United States Geological Survey, and also the Russian mineral resources experts, Afghanistan has vast resources, especially copper mines, the REE, rare earth elements, and other resources like lapis, gold, and especially the lithium, which is very important in today's world. Lithium is used in satellite batteries and also computers and in modern technology. So We do have abundance of these resources in various parts of the country, from north to the south and from east to the west, spread all over the country. For example, only in Kunar province, in a single village in the name of, in a single district in the name of Chapadara, we have estimated around 1.5 million tons of lithium resources over there. And same goes to the other parts of the country, from the east to Herat province. If we look at that province, we have a lot of resources, these resources are of different kind. For example, in Ghazni, you have you can find a rock mixed with soil lithium resources, while in Herat those are down in the earth. Beneath the earth, which is a different kind of lithium resources. So Khanashin is, of course, very important and famous. We have abundance of resources over there as well. And same goes to the Helmand, where we have uranium and other resources.
Okay.
So overall in the country, it's spread all over the country, and copper mine, which was contracted by the Chinese MCC company, that exists in Logar province. So if you look around the country, there are different kind of resources spread all over the country.
Yes, can I ask you, to what extent are these resources currently being exploited, and why isn't Afghanistan a wealthier country because of these vast mineral deposits?
Unfortunately, because of the last 4 decades of war, we couldn't explore or drill these resources. On the one hand, we have the fight going on in the country. On the other hand, during the last 2 decades, unfortunately we had incompetent and corrupt governments. So corruption was a major hurdle in the front of drilling or exploring these or exploiting these resources. In the past governments, we had strong warlords, and that also they were using their influence and power illegally, getting benefit of these resources. So due to the risk of the resource curse theory, the Afghan government couldn't get benefit of the peasant resources, but some warlords, they were, and also in the past 2 decades, Taliban, they also exploited and took benefit of some of these resources. But legally and under the government role, we couldn't get any benefit of that. And Afghanistan, because of its bureaucracy and weak institutions, coupled with corruption and, of course, the insecurity, the exploitation, we couldn't do. So in the next government, if with international experts and proper strategy by the government, if we can exploit these resources, that will benefit a lot and contribute a lot in our economy, which can turn Afghanistan into a wealthy country.
And with countries like China also looking like it will recognize the Taliban as a legitimate government at some point, they might also play a role in the exploitation of those resources. Ahmad Shah Katawazai, we'll have to leave it there, but thank you again for joining us on the program.